that? Lovely. Hello. Welcome back. So, I have a lot to share. I'm not sure how I'm going to do all this in 30 minutes, but we'll give it a shot. I'm going to take a sip out of my lovely mug by Hill Country Potter. All I have in here is water. Unlike the lovely round rabbit who partakes of some wine. What? I just realized I could probably move up a little bit more. So hello, welcome. Just gonna scooch you in a little bit closer so we can get a little bit more cozy together. So welcome to A Hopeful Hauler Makes podcast, episode number 5. So since we last met, I went on my vacation with my family, my sweet family, to the Pacific Northwest. And I'm still giddy from it. Still very excited and still just thinking about the beautiful colors. I shared a lot of pictures on Instagram just about how beautiful the trees were. And so I'm still reminiscing about that. And as you can see by my shirt here, I'll stand up. I got to attend the Columbia Gorge Fiber Fest. Sort of. So I attended for approximately 1 hour and just the vendor market. So I was able to meet some lovely people. I have a little video that my husband is going to help me edit and put in here. It was just surprising to me. I actually met the third runner-up to the first place. One person winner of the Spinzilla. You know, we all took part in that. If you're a spinner, you probably took part in it, or you've at least heard of it. And so this sweet lady, wow, she was amazing. She had an electric spinner. And again, we'll insert the video here in just a little bit. And you can see her, but her team actually won first place international across the board, Spinzilla. And so what are the odds that I would get to meet that fine lady and go into that knitting store? And that is Not Another Hat in Hood River, Oregon. And so that was a delight, and it was amazing. It was amazing. I'll let her tell you about it, so I won't share too much about it. Hello, we are here at the Columbia Gorge Fiber Festival with, let me see if I can get us both in. It's very close up. So I was talking to this lovely lady, and she began to tell me that she is the third place winner, but her entire team won the first place of Spinzilla internationally. So, and your name is?
Cheryl Newhouse.
Cheryl Newhouse.
And Team Not Another Hat.
Not Another Hat. And so tell me a little bit about what you spun your yardage with mostly.
My Bam Huey fiber, which I have custom blended. It's a 40% bamboo, 60% merino.
Okay.
And I hand painted it in purple, and I spun up about 8 pounds of it.
8 pounds! Oh my goodness! That's a lot.
I'm going to knit a coat.
She's going to knit a coat. Okay, so I'm going to try and get over here and show you what she's doing here. I don't have to be in this, so I'll just do this. So what is this that you're using here?
This is a Hanson mini spinner, and I've had it for about 4 years, and because I can't treadle anymore, I tore up my legs.
Oh no!
So I just have to
treadling?
Yeah, too much treadling. That was it. Too much treadling. So now I just use the electric. It's nice and easy to pour it around. No big wheels to carry and stuff. So
nice. Well, you're just flying away. And your name was again?
Cheryl Newhouse.
Cheryl Newhouse.
Yes.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Good to see you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
going to go into finished objects, and I keep looking out my window over here at little birds, mockingbirds, and things that are getting my attention. So I'm really going to try and stay focused. Take a deep breath and let it all out. So I will begin right now with something I showed you, I believe it was last episode. These are my pumpkin spice latte socks. So I was super excited about these because we got to go to the original Starbucks, which, you know, I think is kind of cool. Pretty neat, pretty interesting to see a little business like that grow the way it has and become such an icon. So all along our visit to the Pacific Northwest, I worked on these socks. And so that was fun to put all of those memories into this pair of socks. So I believe I shared with you the yarn last time, Savvy. I am getting better, y'all. Believe it or not, I have notes. I just forgot to write these notes down. Savvy Skeins, I believe, are the dyer of this. And you can see it's a little dark on the spice on this one and a little light on the spice when I got to this one. So how I worked these were 2 at a time on a 9-inch circular. Went all the way around. So that meant that I pulled from the center and from the outside of a center pull ball. And so as you can see, the center and the outside are a little bit different. So I'm not sure if that was just my skein or if all the skeins are that way, but I like them. I think they're cute and I think they're interesting. And I used this golden color here, pumpkin-y sort of color, that is also in my Find Your Fade, which I finished. So I'm sure you probably already figured out, if you haven't seen the last episode, this green reminds me of the cup on Starbucks on the logo. And then the yarn is pumpkin spice, and then this just reminds me of pumpkin. So I'm quite pleased with those socks, so I'll be able to start wearing those here pretty soon. I just wanted to be able to show them to y'all. How are y'all anyway? You know, if you were in my house and you were sitting on my couch, I wouldn't be going into all of these things. This is why I have my podcast, because I feel like this is more than any one person who doesn't knit wants to hear about my knitting. So but if you were on my couch and you had your knitting in your hands, I'd be asking, how are you? How are you after this week? And how are you in this moment? Today is Monday, brand new week. So before I go on, I feel like I need to share this. The full moon, I'm very aware, affects me in different ways. So the way it affected me in this last couple of days is, as you know, I work at or you may not know, welcome back if you have been here before. And if you're new, my name is Michelle Holler, and this is the Hopeful Holler Makes podcast. A little late, better late than never. And I work at a living museum called the Log Cabin Village. And so at the Log Cabin Village, I was just rocking away and knitting on my current project. And on our porch at the cabin that I was working on day before yesterday, it has a stone porch. And so the rocking chair, when it gets to like right about there, it kind of feels like you're free falling, but you're not. I mean, it just continues to go back. It just goes back real far. Oops, something dropped. And so I was rocking. I kind of felt that free fall, and I thought I was going to fall, and then I remembered, no, this particular rocking chair on this particular porch is fine. I don't have anything to worry about. And all of a sudden I completely rocked myself off the porch onto the ground so it went all the way back and then off to the side. So there I am laying with this beautiful handcrafted rocking chair, pinning my arm down and all of my weight on top of that. So, anywho, my neck is a little sore from that, and my shoulder is my shoulder. Oh, anatomy. My shoulder and my elbow are just a little bit tender, but it was quite a little fiasco at the end of the day. It's a little bit bruised, but I am truly so very grateful that I did not cause myself more pain, because 2 days before that in yoga, and this is why I do yoga, y'all. I may or may not have mentioned that I have a very consistent yoga practice for primarily for my mental well-being, but also, you know, it is good for my body, obviously, mind, body, spirit. But I apparently was not completely aware, and I pulled my hamstring during yoga. So all of this within the last couple of days. I am not the most graceful gazelle out there. So, all right, now that I've confessed, on to finished objects. So again, if you follow me on Instagram at A Hopeful Holler Makes, you will have seen my Find Your Fade. I took a picture of it while I was at work at the Log Cabin Village, just because I felt like that was such a beautiful place to be able to capture it. And the sun just came out, so I can tell the colors aren't quite what they would normally be. But I am very pleased with it. I had so much fun wearing it in the Pacific Northwest. So by Pacific Northwest, what I mean exactly is we flew into Seattle, and I had never been to Seattle before. And I happen to be a Kurt Cobain fan. And I got on that train very late. It was a few years ago that I became interested in all things Nirvana and Kurt Cobain specifically, and his life, and really him as an artist. His passion to just share what he had to share the way he had to share it. I just find that very encouraging. Real art. I like real art. Whether that's music, drawing, sculpting, cooking, gardening, to me it's all art. But anyhow, the fact that I lived up in that general area and he lived up there at the same time, I don't know why, that just makes me happy when I was a kid. So of course I wanted to go to his childhood home and also go to the memorial bench and leave a yarn bomb there in remembrance of him. And so my husband and my daughter were gracious enough to allow me that, and to spend that time with me as we did that. So that was wonderful. And I have some pictures that I may try and insert on here. I may also do that just on Instagram as a little folder full of those pictures. So we started in Seattle, and then we went into Olympia and Aberdeen. And so Aberdeen is actually where there's a bridge, and that bridge has a little Kurt Cobain park. And I also left a fiber balm, yarn bomb there as well. I did like 2 inches of black and 2 inches of red, 2 inches of black, 2 inches of red, just on a little rectangle, and then I tied it on to whatever I could find. Anyway, that was that was very memorable and important for my trip. And so then after we were in Washington, then we went on down to Oregon. And so again, the Columbia Gorge Fiber Festival. Normally I'm not going to show a lot of things that I purchased. Typically I'm just not out there purchasing all the time. Typically it will be a festival, or I try to save for festivals, and just if a big project, if I need to purchase the yarn for a big project. So typically these sort of things will happen after a festival. So I thought this was super, super cute. I love it very much. It is just a little tin, and it has all my little stitch markers in there. And I will share with you who I got this from. This is A Needle Runs Through It. Yes, A Needle Runs Through It. I had a couple of people that I wanted to share, and they also, I didn't put those big one. I got these really cute little stitch markers. They just look like jewelry, as a stitch marker should. And then MissPearl.com, I purchased these adorable little owls, and they're wood, and I just think they're so cute. Very Pacific Northwest. Are you tired of me saying that yet? I hope not. So much fun. And because we were there until October 30th, I also purchased, Miss Pearl also had little Halloween stitch markers. So I got those. They're cute. So adorable. So my lovely little tin, again, A Needle Runs Through It, is where that came from. And Mr. A Needle, am I saying the right one? I'm gonna have to go back. I'm afraid I'm confusing the two. The lady's husband was in her booth, and he was the one selling all of this, and he was super friendly and helpful and kind. I came the very last day, and so anyway, just wanted to mention that. So those are super cute. And something else I purchased while I was there. Oh, look at this. Nice. The clouds just covered the sun. So this is True Color. So this is Abstract Fibers. And I have that on my supported spindle, which I always feel like is a very special kind of wand, magic wand. But this is my supported spindle. Get a little bit closer so you can see. And if you're interested in supported spindling, of course there's lots of tutorials out on YouTube for them. They're wonderful, and they helped me get started. For the last few years I've been using a drop spindle, and I decided I wanted to try a supported spindle, and I made this little purchase. Look at this beautiful little ceramic bowl. And those are forget-me-nots imprinted in there with the lovely blue glaze. The sun's coming out again. So anyway, I use this to hold my spindle. I'm not going to do it because, like I said, I've already done a tutorial, but you can see it just spins so well in that little bowl. And it'll always remind me, we went to the Eugene Arts and Crafts Market that they have. And it's not just arts and crafts. If you're ever in Eugene, Oregon, they have beautiful fruits and vegetables and art of every sort. They have yarn that people have spun. They have beautiful jewelry. yummy food. What about all the things and bring them home? So, but I did not. So I just want to share something that's old, very, very old. I got this probably about 4 years ago. But when I purchased it, it reminded me of my memories of when I was a little girl. Again, just those few 6 months that I lived in Oregon, and everything that I've seen about Oregon since then. This just reminded me of Oregon. So I used this. This is one of the bags, craft bags, that I used on my visit there. And Mommy Sew is the maker of this. And I believe that she still makes bags, and you can purchase them from West 7th Wool, my local yarn shop. And with that, my current works in progress, which I just showed you one. I didn't even wait for myself to go to the next segment. So look, y'all, for the first time, I actually have labels and names. So in case I could possibly help anyone out there, which I'd really like to do, inspire or encourage you to make something fun and pretty for yourself that I might be working on. I am working on Make-A-Wish by Joji Locatelli. I do hope I'm saying her name right. I've heard her name so many times on so many podcasts, but look how cute. It has a beautiful lace pattern on it. It's called Make-A-Wish, that beautiful lady. Oh, it just inspires me. Makes me happy just to look at it. So I've started that. And I believe I said on the last podcast that I was going to be using Yarn Carnival, but I wasn't sure which color. So this is really kind of funny. I already had the yarn, but while at the Sheep and Wool Festival, I purchased this shirt as a remembrance of my time there. And look at this. It is pretty much the exact same color. This is called Amaranth. And this is Goat Roper. It's 80% merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. So it's fingering, and it is 400 yards. And I just think it's lovely. You all know, if you've watched before, I have a thing for Yarn Carnival. They've been super sweet and encouraging, and they're just good people. And I love their yarn. Of course I love their yarn. So my Make-A-Wish will be out of this. And my goal date, I have one. I don't know that I'll make it, but my goal date is December 10th. And that's actually my birthday. And so with a pattern called Make-A-Wish and the color being Amaranth, I wasn't familiar with the flower called Amaranth. So of course I Googled, as one does, and one of the adjectives that this word is used for is unfading or undying. And so, being a woman of a certain age, I'll be 47 on December 10th, and Make-A-Wish and undying and unfading, I just think heaven. It's a perfect fit. Remember how a couple of episodes ago, or maybe at last episode, I said we do geek out on these things, how we bring pattern and yarn together with certain names. At least I do. Maybe I shouldn't speak for everyone out there, but I totally geek out on it. So I'm excited about that, and I can show you my progress. I started this last week. So you're starting to be able to see the zigzag a little bit. And it has a provisional cast on. So if you're not aware of what that is, there are a lot of lovely, wonderful YouTubes out there that show you how to do that. Yeah, there we go. You can see the pattern a lot better there. And I won't go into what it says to do that, but I'm enjoying it a lot. It's super fun. Oh, there's one of those little owl stitch markers. Let me see if we can get in there. and I'm just really enjoying it. And I realize that I only have a few more minutes left, so I better boogie on with this conversation. So I'm going to take just a minute to look at my notes. I think I have actually covered everything. Oh, I remember on my last day, last episode, I explained that I was going to have my pottery class and then I would miss 2 weeks because of vacation. Who knew? I love pottery. I had a feeling I would, just throwing that stuff down and getting it centered and getting my hands all wet and pressing it and then, you know, building it up. And the very first one, it was like magic. It all went up and everything, and I was so happy about it. And I know, you know, you're a knitter. You've tried other things. Okay, so just speak for myself. I tried things, and it usually takes me a lot of practice before I get to any resemblance of something that really works the way I'd like for it to work. So there's just a lot of learning and patience and kindness towards myself that I'm continuously learning and working on, and not getting frustrated with myself. And so, like I said, the very first one went really well. And if you've taken pottery, you know, at least for my lesson, you cut it in half after you've built it up to see where it's thin and where it's thick. And so obviously then it's chunked into the clay, and it was for the process of learning and seeing what it looked like, and then away it goes. And then so on my second one, it started to go up, and then it was like all wobbly, and it was a hot mess. But I so enjoyed the process, and I get to go tonight, and it's super fun. So again, as I said on my last episode, if there's anything that you want to try, here I am to encourage you. I'm there with you. I'm working on it. What else? Let's see, the last 5 minutes. So, you know, there's going to be some Blue October chatter. So I wanted to share, this is a book called Crazy Making. And I have my little recovery chip on there. And I believe everybody has a different recovery story. There's Justin on the back. Look at him. So proud, so proud. In a good way. So proud of him and his family. And for me, I have my recovery chip on there to remind me that I am a work in progress. And there's no perfection. There's just getting up one day at a time and taking it one moment at a time. And so, again, if I've piqued anyone's interest about Blue October, one of my favorite bands, my favorite band, not one, my favorite band, Blue October, the words and lyrics of Justin Furstenfeld to the music of Blue October. So there's a lot of really good colored photos in here, and stories about different albums and his feelings. And again, just extremely relatable and encouraging if you or someone you love has discovered that they are seeking the process of recovery. And for me, what recovery means is big, and it is life-changing. Just to recognize, for me, that it's not that everybody else out there has it together and I'm the one loser. Honestly, that's how I felt for so many years. That I just didn't have it all figured out. I still don't have it all figured out, but now I'm glad about it. Now it doesn't worry me. And I can hopefully put my arms around someone's neck, on their shoulder, and encourage them. Just take a deep breath and do the next right thing as best as you can. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 5. And just remember, everything is better with wool and a podcast.